Bonjour mon petit chifle, Amber here, and I'm back with sort of a different video. If you know me, if you've been around for a while, it should come to no surprise that I am absolutely obsessed with scented candles. So much so that a year ago, almost exactly, I started my own bookish fandom related scented candle company. And I know I've mentioned it a few times on my channel, but I thought I'd actually come to you and do a proper introduction to DÉLIRE. I guess briefly, I should tell you about the company. Like I said, I started it, I opened my shop on Etsy on August 9th of 2017, and I actually started it because I was saving to take my mom to Austria for her birthday last year, for her 50th birthday. We were going to go to Salzburg, Austria, where The Sound of Music is filmed. The Sound of Music is her favorite movie of all time, one of mine also, so that was the plan. Turns out we didn't go. We ended up going to Vancouver for her birthday for the final Vancouver Once Upon a Time convention. It worked out, but that is what started the company. I decided I've been wanting to teach myself how to make soy candles for a really long time. I figured it'd be easier to just make my own than spending like ridiculous amounts of money for the giant Bath and Body Works candles. So I did, and I made a Sound of Music inspired candle, which I still love to this day, and then I just kept getting ideas and writing them down. So I'm like, I'm just gonna make a whole thing of this, make a whole company, and just sell candles inspired by the things I love most in this world. Books, also my favorite movies and TV shows, and my favorite music, I guess? Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know what I was gonna say. So that's how this all started. Like I said, the company is called DÉLIRE. If I weren't in a almost 2 a.m. mindset, I'd pronounce it with the proper French pronunciation, but I'm not going to go into the full story of how I came up with that title, but the short version is once upon a time I was in the process of starting my own cupcakery. Yeah, and that was the title from that. It started off as an inside joke between me and one of my friends, because I've always loved the French language, the French culture. Obviously my intro to every one of my videos is in French, and it translates to this delirium, which I also thought was just like really cool. It sounds really cool in French or English. So if you're French and I'm not right, don't tell me. I'm going to stop talking because I want to just go through the collection as is right now, and there are a lot of candles sitting right next to me, and I'm going to do this in sort of like haul fashion. So okay, so like I mentioned, the first candle I ever made was inspired by The Sound of Music, and initially when I was started these candles, I was doing them in the little 8-ounce cans with wood wicks, and the ones that are still in the cans, I am in the process of repackaging and putting them in the jars. So I'm just going to show you what they look like right now and explain the scents to you. So the first candle ever, the first one in our company, which is still one of my favorites to this day, is The Hills Are Alive. Like I said, inspired by The Sound of Music, and I love this one. I burn this all the time. That is the plus side of having your own candle company. You're always in supply of scented candles. This one, I was really aiming for a spring mountainside in the morning that Julie Andrews is spinning on top of, and it smells of sunflower, mainly carnation, and like a mix of mountain air and morning dew, and it just smells really good, if I may say so myself. This is also my mom's favorite candle, not just because it was made basically for her. And yeah, this was obviously the first one I made, so it was the first one sold. One of my best friends was my first customer, so thanks, Emily. So right after that one, we were going into my time, my prime Virgo season, and this is the only candle that's not inspired by anything like fictional or like music or anything. It's inspired by me because your girl's a Virgo, so I just wanted a candle that just kind of captured the essence of Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign, so I just wanted something that smelled really calming and earthy. So this is the Virgo season. My birthstone is a sapphire, so I went with this blue kind of geometric label. Once again, Woodwick. This is, oh, I'm gonna say this is my favorite for all of these, so I'm sorry. Like I said, I wanted this scent to be very earthy, so this is, the main scent is, it's oak moss and rosemary. Actually, I should probably have the notes pulled up. Like I said, oak moss, rosemary, and chamomile, because I wanted it to be very just calming and earthy. Like I said, 3 times in a row. So the next 3 are a trio. They go together. These are the only ones currently that aren't fictional, that are inspired by music, and it's inspired by one of my favorite albums by one of my favorite artists. It's my Harry Styles trio. Y'all know. So these ones that I'm about to show you are actually mine, because I gave away the ones that I had left in the Harry Styles giveaway, and I am in the process of properly repackaging them. But I did just want to show them because they'll be back on the website soon. First we have one of my personal favorites. There she goes again, Sweet Creature. Sweet Creature. And this actually is pink. This one is obviously inspired not only by the song and the line "running through the garden, oh, where nothing bothered us," and just like the whole aesthetic of Sweet Creature. And the scent is rose, honeysuckle, and wildflower. And then the next 2 are both inspired by the same song, my favorite song off of the album, Kiwi. We have Kiwi itself, which, like the song, has nothing to do with kiwis. This one actually is inspired by the first line of the song. She worked her way through a cheap pack of cigarettes, hard liquor mixed with a bit of intellect. It's scented with tobacco, leather, and bourbon. It's one of, on the stronger, more masculine side. I'm quoting heavily, but I'm really into those type of scents. When I'm in smelling candles, I'm always drawn to like the tobacco, pipe tobacco's scented candles. I guess it also kind of reminds me of never mind, I was about to get really creepy and fangirly, so I'm just going to leave that alone. And the next one is a mouthful of a title. It's Having Your Baby, It's None of Your Business, also from Kiwi. And this one actually smells of kiwi and passion fruit and pineapple. So it's very summery, very tropical, very lovely. And one of my favorite things, actually, to go back to kiwi, is that I made sure that the color matched Harry's eyes. So we're going to move on. Next was my last year's Halloween collection. I have a few of these left if you're interested. The first 2, there were 3. I do everything in 3s. Apparently. The first 2 were inspired by my favorite Halloween movie, one of my favorite movies of all time. And if you say that it's not one of the greatest movies in history, you're wrong, you're a liar, and I hate you. They're both inspired by Hocus Pocus. This one on this side is Thackeray Binks, after the beloved Thackeray Binks. And it smells of black licorice and vanilla. I don't like the taste of black licorice, but I love the smell of black licorice. And this one is the Black Flame Candle, so be very careful of who you have light it. And it smells so good. It smells like wood fire and wood smoke, vanilla, and patchouli. And these 2 are actually 40% off on Etsy. So, because I'm trying to clear out last year's Halloween and fall candles to prepare for this season, which I'm super excited about. I am actually starting the process of doing my Halloween and fall candles for this year, and I'm already obsessed. And the third of my Halloween candles was inspired by my favorite show of all time, which, as you know, is Once Upon a Time, and my queen, Regina. And this is the Dark Curse candle, which is one of my favorite candles in this that I've ever made. And also, it's one of the prettiest I've ever made. I made sure it was purple because all of the magic in Storybrooke and in Once Upon a Time is kind of like, when you see it, it's purple smoke, basically. So this is supposed to smell like it kind of, not only is it inspired by the Dark Curse, but it's also inspired by the Sleeping Curse. So I just wanted something that smells sort of like enchanted and like almost like a I keep wanting to say like a lullaby, but something that'll lull you into like a trance of being cursed. It's mainly blackberry and like a frankincense and myrrh type thing, and it has a hint of red delicious apple, because would it be Regina without it? These are the Halloween candles. Next are just the fall candles, and I said I do everything in threes, but there are 4 fall 2017 candles. The first 2 go together, also inspired by another one of my favorite shows ever, Gilmore Girls. I mean, can you do fall without Stars Hollow? I don't really think so. Speaking of which, we have a Stars Hollow candle. Oh, that smells so good. It just smells like, fall. There's nothing else to say about it. It just smells like fall. It smells like leaves and toasted marshmallow and cinnamon and yolking beans. It just kind of smells like what I would imagine a stroll through Stars Hollow in like late September or October to smell like. I'm sure someone's doing something dramatic. There's some sort of like festival about to happen, and you really can't have any sort of Gilmore Girls or Stars Hollow anything without the iconic Luke's Diner, and you can't really have a Gilmore anything without coffee. So this is a hazelnut and cream coffee candle, and your girl loves some coffee. That's what happens when you actually do grow up watching Gilmore Girls. You you need caffeine and an IV. Okay, moving on. We have another Once Upon a Time inspired candle. This show's my favorite, so like, I'm not sorry about it. Yet another inspired by Regina. I'm not sorry about it. It's the Evil Regals candle inspired by Regina, and the Evil Regals is basically Regina's fan base, if you don't know. I have a Red Delicious apple candle that may or may not be poisoned, so you know, just watch yourself. Red Delicious apple with some chestnut and like a hint of caramel, and it smells like pie. So if you like pie, I like pie. So the last of the fall candles, once again, as always, inspired by not only one of my favorite movies, but one of my favorite book series ever. I read it 7 times, and it's Hunger Games, if you didn't know for some bizarre reason, because I talk about it every year. And it's the District 12 candle, inspired by Katniss's woods that she finds her refuge in District 12. This, I haven't said it in a while, is one of my favorite candles I've ever smelled in my life. It just smells like the forest. It smells like evergreen trees. Everdeen trees. Sorry. Evergreen trees, some oak moss to like give it some oomph, and fireside embers, because you can't have the girl on fire without a little bit of fire, you know? Okay, we are switching seasons. We are now going into the winter 2017 candles. And right off the bat, we are starting with the final Once Upon a Time inspired candle. This one It's a strong one, but it also smells amazing, so I'm not really complaining. And it is our Operation Mongoose candle. It's inspired by my boy Henry, so obviously it smells like hot chocolate and cinnamon. It is officially Charming approved, you know? Charming family approved, I should say. Next we have another, what's it called? Sound of Music inspired candle. This is actually the second one I had planned. When I started writing them all down, I said I wanted to do a second one in the winter. And this one is my favorite things. This one also sort of smells like pie. It smells like apple strudel, crisp apple strudel, creme brulee, and vanilla. This one's not too strong, so if you don't like strong candles, I think you like this. And the last one of the winter ones is a Narnia candle. Can you believe it's taken this long to get to a Narnia candle for me? Because I can't. And this is a lamppost in the winter woods. I actually plan on doing more Narnia candles this winter, this Christmas time. Like I said, this is inspired by the winter woods that Lucy first stumbles into as she first enters Narnia. And it is the scent of balsam fir, so yet another Christmas tree, and fresh mint. Because I wanted it to smell sort of just like icy and just like snowy and wintry. So my mom really likes this one. So we are officially past all of the seasonal candles, and the remaining ones are all bookish. So the next two go together, and not only are they bookish, but they are inspired by a movie. It's another book to movie adaptation, and they are both inspired by Call Me By Your Name, which we all know I love so much. And we have Mystery of Love. Blessed be the mystery. Oh my god, I love. You can't have a Call Me By Your Name candle and it not be peach scented, right? That's kind of, I was gonna say blasphemy, but that's extreme. It smells of peach and apricot and some honeysuckle, because I'm just obsessed with the scent of honeysuckle, so I'm gonna try to sneak it into as many candles as possible. I'm just gonna be really real with you. And this might be really weird, but it sort of smells like Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo. So if you know what that smells like, I've always loved that scent, so when I made a candle that smelled like it without realizing it, that was pretty awesome. It smells so good. Elio. And to go with that is the other iconic song from that movie, possibly more iconic than Mystery of Love, might be a controversial opinion, and it's Visions of Gideon, inspired by the iconic fireplace scene at the end of the movie. Oh, this one smells really good too. This one's kind of a, when it comes together, it's sort of a different scent, but I really like it, and it burns beautifully. It is black fig and honey because the movie takes place, or the book takes place in Italy, so I just wanted another very like Italian fruit. And black pepper because I wanted something sort of like fiery to represent the fireplace. So, and I didn't want to go the obvious route with doing like fireside embers. I just thought it would be different, but it works, you know. Okay, so the next one actually isn't bookish at all. It is inspired by one of my favorite musicals that means the world to me and has impacted my life. It's my For Forever candle, inspired by Dear Evan Hansen, and it's actually inspired by the fictional day that Evan spends with Connor, obviously, and their little trip to the ice cream shop. So it smells like the best of my ability, an ice cream shop. I remember I was walking by Cold Stone in the mall one day. I was like, oh my god, my candle has to smell like that. So it smells like pie crust, and because the shop's called a la mode, so I wanted to do like a apple pie a la mode type thing. So it smells like pie crust and ice cream cone and vanilla ice cream. If that's your thing, which I think it should be everyone's thing, right? I think this is also perfect for people who like sort of like simple candles that are like vanilla, you know? So we have another duo inspired by some books I read this year that I just loved. We have Sarin and the Sod both inspired by To Kill a Kingdom by Alexander Christo, which is a darker retelling of The Little Mermaid, and I've always loved The Little Mermaid. I love mermaids, I love sirens, I love pirate princes, so here we are. The siren one is the language that the sirens speak in this world, and this one is inspired by Lyra, who is the siren princess, and one is the color of the Diavolo Sea, which is where she lives. It smells like the sea, midnight jasmine, and the sea. I wanted it to be like really sort of captivating and enchanting, sort of like a siren song. So, and to go with that, we have our other main character. We have the Saad, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, which is inspired by Elian, the pirate prince of Midas. I love him so much. And it's named for his ship, which he loves more than anything else in the world. And we have it topped with the gold of Midas, which is his kingdom, and also the gold that supposedly runs through his blood. So this one also smells of sea salt in the sea, because that's where he spends all his time, and sea mist, and some black licorice, because that's supposedly what he smells like, sea salt and black licorice. A man's. So we have our final trio, which are all inspired by the best book I have read all year, one of the best books I have read in my life. You already should know where I'm going with this. We have this trio here inspired by Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, which we know is one of my favorite books ever. So we have the trio, which are inspired by the three main characters of the book. Sorry, Zane. I couldn't sort it out. We have Zélie, which I actually made a larger candle, a version of this candle for Tomi, and gave it to her at BookCon in June. And I made this candle before I decided I wanted to make a full trio, before I decided I wanted to sell them. So this one is inspired by the scent of Zélie's soul. If you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. It smells like sea salt. I have a lot of candles that smell like sea salt. Okay, books. Sea salt and calla lily. And the main color of this is purple, because when we see Zélie's magic in the book, it is always described as like a lavender purple. And we have, it's decorated with these shells because she loves the sea. So I just thought that was appropriate, and these natural sunstones, because if you've read the book, you know that a main part of the story and their mission is a sunstone. So I just thought that was really appropriate, and Tomi loved it, so I think she want you to buy this candle. With that, we have our problematic fave, Enan. I don't think I'll ever pronounce his name correctly. The Prince of Odisha, and this one kind of, it was inspired by a line in the book. I think if I remember correctly, it was describing like a scent when he was really connecting to his magic. Spoiler alert, I'm sorry. And it smells of sea salt and sage. It's topped with blue glitter, because that's kind of the color we see associated with his magic, and it's topped with some common sage. This smells so good. Oh my god. This is a really strange description, but kind of smells like soap. Not like a what is it, like hospital or like high school bathroom soap way. It just, I don't remember what brand it is. It almost smells like Lever 2000 soap, but which is my favorite soap. It's my favorite bar soap. Sorry, I have like a lot of nostalgia with that soap. But this might be one of my favorite. This might be my favorite of the three, and that's, I don't know, because then there's Amari. And Amari is my queen. I love Amari so much. Protect her at all costs. For this one, I kept it sort of simple with the decoration. We just have some gold glitter on the top, and we have a little brass lion because she's the lionaire. And when we were first introduced to Amari, she is trying to live her life, trying to go through this tea with her mother and some other ladies of the court. She's the princess, and she's just trying to enjoy her coconut cake. So my girl loves cake, so this one smells like dessert. It's scented with, and for a lot of the book also, side note, she's dreaming of snacks, cakes, spice cake, coconut cream, and vanilla chai, and it honestly smells so good. This is saying a lot, but it smells very, very similar to Bath and Body Works Pumpkin Cupcake, which is my favorite candle ever. So there are two more, well, 1.5. The last one I haven't put up for sale yet because, don't ask me questions, actually. It's inspired by The Bells by Danielle Clayton, which I just read not too long ago, maybe like last month. And I'm just really inspired by the fact how pretty and lush the world was, and how we were always talking about like French pastries and snacks, and there were always macarons or like pink cupcakes and just pretty desserts going around. So that's what this is inspired by. I didn't show it to you yet. I think I tried to go for like a marble effect and replicate the colors on the cover of the book. This one is my actual personal one because I think I'm going to have to do like an imperfect sale for the rest of them. And this is the prettiest one. So it smells like, it smells so good though. If you like sweets and pastry, if you like sweet scents, this is for you because this is very, very sweet. If you don't like sweet scents, you're probably not gonna like it. But it smells like cherry almond, which is one of my favorite scents in the world, strawberry champagne, French macarons, oh, and sugarberry. So it's, like I said, it's very sweet, it's very French. I'm very here for it. And the very last candle I just poured today, but by the time you watch this, it should be up. It hasn't been labeled yet, the wick hasn't been cut yet, but I thought I'd give you a sneak peek. I've been wanting to do this candle for months now, since I first read Caraval. It's inspired by Caraval by Stephanie Garber. It turned out accidentally patriotic, so the color scheme is actually based on the cover of the book. It's like blue with some red and silver accents, and I just kind of wanted to smell like what I imagine Legend's atmosphere to smell like. It's like red wine and roses, and there's this touch of salted caramel because I did want it to smell like carnival snacks. So yeah, that should be up by the time you watch this. I just have to label them and let them finish setting, actually. So those are all of my candles that thus far. Like I said, I am starting the process of the Halloween and fall candles that I'm very, very excited about. So yeah, I don't know what the purpose of making this video was. I just realized I talk about these candles, but I never actually like introduced you to these candles. And you know, you gotta get that self promo in. So if you're interested in any of these candles, the link to my Etsy shop is down here. It has been for ages, but I need to bring your attention to it. It's down here. Any support is very much appreciated. Even just sharing a link is very much appreciated. If you like this video, which I hope you did, I know it's different, please give us a thumbs up. If you like me, feel free to subscribe. All my places are down here, so you can follow me and I'll follow you back, and we can be buds. And I'll see you soon.